Hey Zarrar, welcome to 11 Questions.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, Happy New Year and also happy belated birthday to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So, how did you celebrate your birthday this year?
I just stayed home with the family, didn't really do much. Tonight I might see some friends, be very socially responsible at the same time.
Yeah, it's very different this year.
Yeah, it's been tough, and I think people find it really weird to ask them to get rapid tests before you meet them. Some people get offended, and some people don't. That's when you realize how sensitive people's lives are. You depend on someone's stupidity basically to live
Oh,
and to
absolutely.
survive.
What is your resolution for 2021?
I just turned 40. So I think my resolution is I need to be a lot more healthier than I usually, because I think once you hit 35 plus, you kind of you start feeling things that you didn't feel before, like aches and pains, and I want to be healthy and overall. I want to finish my second novel, which I've been really lazy about these days. So yeah, these are the two things, very
Hmm.
broad
Those are
resolutions, which
good
I,
goals. Yeah,
yeah.
those are good goals to focus on. I know you're also South Asian authors. How many languages can you speak?
My mother's side of the family comes from southern Punjab, and they speak a dialect of Punjabi, which is probably doesn't really have a name. Probably a few thousand people only know about it and speak it. So I speak that language fairly well because I heard it growing up in the house. I taught myself a lot of Punjabi when I moved to Pakistan at the age of 15. So that the regular city sort of Punjabi, and then I know like obviously Urdu is probably not my strong suit, but yeah, I know that. Growing up, I grew up in Dubai, so you had to take a second language, which was Arabic from the very first school day. I remember Arabic was taught alongside English. So I knew Arabic really well until, I stopped speaking it. So I would say, give or take, four languages. English is, basically my strongest, possibly because I can articulate myself better.
That's pretty good. I can speak three, and I think we have two in common, English and Punjabi. I,
Cool.
so you wrote your first book, Pureland, am I right?
Mhm.
And is this your main profession now?
I would like to say so, but no, sadly, I'm like any other author that I know, all of us have day jobs, and that's just how it goes. Even some of the the big guns, they all like get up in the morning and go to work and do something other than write.
Yep, I suspected so.
Mhm.
What would you say is your biggest accomplishment, something that you're most proud of?
I think what I'm proud of is I taught myself the art of literary fiction. It was a very difficult task. And now that I look at it, I just had this burning desire to tell the story. And that's all I knew. And I had to learn how to tell the story because storytelling is not easy. Everyone cannot do it. You know how they say that everyone has a book inside them? For the most part, that's where it should remain for most people. But for me, it wasn't the case. I had to tell the story, but I had to learn it. And I think my greatest achievement was that I learned the craft. I learned how to balance the words, the sentences, and make it sound good, read well, and at the same time, not compromise the story.
During this process of learning to do the whole book business, what's the greatest act of kindness that someone has done for you?
A lot of people have. I mean, if I begin to name how kind people have been to me, just the belief that someone has in you, that it really helps in giving you the confidence that you might be good at this stuff. And I'm very grateful. I want to make certain people very proud, that I've done something. In the end of the day, that's what motivates me, I guess, now to write is to tell that story.
That's great. And I think it's very important to meet kind, generous, and uplifting people on your journey because when you're starting out, it can be like make or break for a person.
Yeah, it can be. I think I was pretty resilient even when I met people that discouraged. I was very in Punjabi, ਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਬੜਾ ਢੀਠ ਸਾਂ ਮੈਂ. I was very deep, you know. It kind of bounced off me, rejection and these kind of things.
That's amazing. I love that resilient quality in people because I think that plays a big role in where you get in life. Since we are talking about books, if you could pick only three books to read forever, which ones would that be?
I recently discovered one which I would read over and over again, and I'm really late in the game of discovering Toni Morrison. And I went on vacation a couple of weeks ago, and I read Home I think in two sittings. Absolutely fabulous work. That, and I think Midnight's Children would be something I would read over and over again. And Lolita by Nabokov. These are the three masterpieces I think I could take on a deserted island and be okay.
I have not read any of those, so I need to check those out.
I envy people that haven't had a chance to discover the wonders of Nabokov and Toni Morrison and Salman Rushdie.
So I have another hypothetical for you. If you could
Go for it.
change one thing in the world, what would that be?
I'll answer that in kind of two parts. I think I would like to not see such division between humanity. And secondly, I think the only way that can be overcome is through the eradication of ignorance and the emancipation of children from cult like religions and horrible teachings. And I think one of the things that you will realize is that when you grow up knowing the things that you know and seeking truth and whatnot, that mankind is a creature that has only been around for 200,000 years. And the only way forward for the species to survive is to understand that we are so close in genetics that if we were dogs, we would be one breed and one color coat. That's how close we are in our genes. And hence, it's absurd to have such divisions among people. I would eradicate that. And I think it's very possible that we will be coming close in the next century to having a universal approach to the globalized citizen. If I want to go and visit any part of my world, my earth, I should be allowed to do that. And I think we will get to that point very soon.
Oh, I hope so. I hate
Yeah.
this whole passports and visa thing.
Yeah. No, if I don't know when, but there will be a day when people will also not be judged on the nationalities that they carried or the place that they were born. I had nothing to do with where I was born. So I don't know when that will happen, but I'm pretty sure it will happen where one day, any citizen of the earth can go anywhere else on earth and say, I want to go here and go there. Nobody can stop them.
It would be amazing if it happens in my lifetime. But yeah, I love your answer. This year has been actually the opposite of that. Even in our own country, we cannot move. But once it opens up, which is the first place you'll want to go to?
I would like to go somewhere where there's a beach, I think. I grew up near a beach, and I think for me it's very important that I see one at least once a year.
I'm the same way about mountains. If magically you were to get one day to spend with any person you want to, who would you pick?
I would pick two people. I would like to hang out
You are
with.
really greedy. I said
Okay,
one.
fine. Okay, fine. I'd like to hang out, just chill out with Christopher Hitchens. I think he was the coolest guy on earth. A lot of things I don't agree with what he said, but I think he would be a pretty cool person.
Okay, and which is the second? And now I'm just curious.
Oh, Salman Rushdie. So they're both friends, and
Hmm.
yeah, actually been in touch with Sir Salman over email and stuff like that, and exchange emails and stuff. But I think he'd be pretty cool to hang out with too.
I agree. And a last question of the day. If you were to pick one interesting life experience to share with us, which one would that be?
The overall like travel I've done since I was a kid. The reason why I think I know a lot more about cultures and people and all that is because I've been traveling so much since I was a child. So
Where all
that
have
in
you traveled to?
everywhere except for I haven't been to Russia yet. I haven't been to China, and I haven't been to Australia and New Zealand. But I have been all the way Indonesia and Bali and the Far East, Singapore, Hong Kong, that area. Been to Brazil and all over the U.S. I've been to a lot of cities in the U.S. I've been almost everywhere in Europe. So I think, and I lived a couple of years in Egypt, and when I was a kid, and I grew up in Dubai, like I said. So we traveled a lot. So I think that's an entire, in its entirety, an experience. I think that taught me a lot.
I'm jealous of you right now. But thank you so much for answering all my questions, Zarar.